Hello students, welcome to P Block Elements Lecture 7. Let us begin this lecture with ozone. Ozone is an allotropic form of oxygen. It protects Earth's surface from harmful ultraviolet radiations. It helps sustain life on Earth, and it is very unstable at sea level because of its high reactivity, and it is present approximately 20 km above from sea level. Laboratory preparation of ozone. When a slow stream of dry oxygen gas is passed through silent electric discharge tube, conversion of oxygen to ozone, that is 10%, occurs. Students, when a slow stream of dry oxygen is passed through silent electric discharge tube, conversion of oxygen to ozone takes place. This preparation of ozone is endothermic in nature. Here, silent electric discharge tube indicates sparkless electric discharge tube. What happens if spark is going to produce in a discharge tube? If spark is going to produce, then temperature is going to increase. When temperature increases, there is a possibility of reverse reaction of decomposition of ozone to oxygen. So that's why it is suggested to maintain sparkless electric discharge, and that is called as silent electric discharge. So as I told, it is an endothermic process. Use of silent electric discharge is important in its preparation to prevent the decomposition of ozone to give oxygen. Properties of ozone. Gaseous ozone is blue in color. Liquid ozone is blue-black in color, whereas solid ozone is violet in color. It is dangerous in higher concentration. As compared to oxygen, ozone is thermodynamically unstable in nature, and it has a tendency to decomposition to form oxygen and nascent oxygen. The reverse reaction of decomposition of ozone to oxygen is exothermic in nature. Ozone as an oxidizing agent. Ozone acts as a strong oxidizing agent because ozone decomposes to liberate nascent oxygen along with dioxygen, and the nascent oxygen thus formed acts as a powerful oxidizing agent next to fluorine. So in this reaction you can see that ozone decomposes to form dioxygen along with nascent oxygen. Nascent oxygen means the oxygen that is formed in the reaction mixture. So this nascent oxygen is highly reactive. For example, when lead sulfide is treated with ozone, the nascent oxygen produced in the ozone oxidizes this lead sulfide to lead sulfate, and in this reaction ozone itself reduced to oxygen. Potassium iodide, when this undergoes oxidation in the presence of water, ozone oxidizes this potassium iodide to iodine and itself reduced to oxygen. Along with these two products, potassium hydroxide is also obtained as one of the products. Estimation of ozone means quantitative analysis of ozone. Ozone, when treated with the potassium iodide containing borate buffer that has a pH of 9.2, liberates iodine, and the amount of iodine liberated is titrated against sodium thiosulfate solution to determine ozone quantitatively. In this, starch is used as an indicator, and the end point is dark blue color to colorless. Depletion of ozone layer. Generally, oxides of nitrogen, particularly nitrogen monoxide or nitric oxide, is the main reason for the depletion of ozone layer. It reacts with ozone to form nitrogen dioxide and oxygen as the product. Freons, which are nothing but fluorochlorocarbons of methane or ethane, which are used as refrigerants, are also responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. So whenever these freons they enter to the ozone layer, they form free radicals, and these free radicals are responsible for depletion of ozone layer. Ozone forms ozonoids with unsaturated hydrocarbons. Structure of ozone. Ozone has angular or bent structure. Infrared and electron diffraction spectra show that ozone molecule is angular or bent shaped structure with oxygen bond angle of 117 degree. Both oxygen bonds are identical, have bond length of 128 picometer, which is intermediate between single and double bonds of oxygen. This is explained by considering resonating structures and resonance hybrid. So these are two Lewis dot structures, and this is a resonance hybrid of these two structures. So here you can see the bond angle between three oxygen atoms is 117 degree, whereas the bond length is 128 picometer. Allotrophic forms of sulfur. Rhombic sulfur, that is also called by the name alpha sulfur. It is the most common and most stable form of the sulfur. It is also called as alpha or octahedral sulfur. 8 sulfur atoms in a molecule form fuched ring in a crown shape. So here you can see the crown shape of S8 rhombic sulfur. It is insoluble in water but soluble in carbon disulfide. Rhombic sulfur crystals are obtained on evaporating a solution of sulfur in carbon disulfide. The second one is monoclinic or beta sulfur. It is also called beta sulfur or prismatic sulfur. Below 369 Kelvin it exists as alpha sulfur, and above that one it exists as beta sulfur. At 369 Kelvin there exists equilibrium between alpha sulfur and beta sulfur. Therefore 369 Kelvin is called as a transition temperature. Third one is cyclohexyl sulfur, that has a chair-like structure. Here you can see the chair-like structure of S6 sulfur. Here sulfur bond length is found to be 207.7 picometer, and bond angle between three consecutive sulfur atoms found to be 102.2 degree. Now formation of sulfur dioxide. The first method is by burning sulfur. Sulfur, when it is burnt, it leads to the formation of sulfur dioxide as the product. It can also obtained by the reaction of sodium sulfite with dilute acids like hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid. So during this reaction, sodium chloride, water and sulfur dioxide are obtained as the product. Industrial method of preparation of sulfur dioxide. It is done by roasting sulfide ores. When ferrous sulfide is carried out roasting in the presence of excess oxygen or air, sulfur dioxide is formed along with the ferric oxide as the product. Properties of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a colorless gas with a pungent smell. It is soluble in water. When sulfur dioxide is passed through water, it forms sulfurous acid. Here you can see the reaction. When sulfur dioxide is dissolved in water, it forms sulfurous acid. Action of sodium hydroxide on sulfur dioxide. Sodium hydroxide reacts with sulfur dioxide to form sodium sulfite. Sodium sulfite further reacts with water and sulfur dioxide to form sodium hydrogen sulfite as the product. Action of chlorine on sulfur dioxide. Chlorine reacts with sulfur dioxide in the presence of charcoal as a catalyst to form sulfuryl chloride, that is SO2Cl2. Sulfur dioxide plus chlorine in the presence of charcoal as a catalyst to form sulfuryl chloride, SO2Cl2. Action of oxygen on sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen in the presence of vanadium pentoxide as a catalyst to form sulfur trioxide as the product. Reducing action of sulfur dioxide. Moist sulfur dioxide reduces ferric ions to ferrous ions and decolorizes potassium permanganate by reducing Mn7 plus ion to Mn2 plus. Ferric chloride, when treated with sulfur dioxide in water, we get ferrous chloride along with sulfuric acid and HCl. In this reaction, ferric ion is reduced to ferrous ion. Plus 3 is decreased to plus 2. When sulfur dioxide is treated with the potassium permanganate in the presence of water, this Mn7 plus reduced to Mn2 plus to form manganese sulfate. Along with this manganese sulfate, potassium sulfate and sulfuric acid are obtained as a product. Structure of sulfur dioxide molecule is as follows. Sulfur dioxide molecules resemble ozone in its structure. It also has bent or angular shape with oxygen sulfur oxygen bond angle is equal to 119 degree. Here we have the structure. Sulfur with this oxygen forms a p-pi bond, whereas it uses its d orbital to form d-pi bond with another oxygen. Sulfur in sulfur dioxide is sp2 hybridized, forming 3 hybrid orbitals. Due to lone pair electrons, bond angle is reduced to 120 degree to 119 degree. In the structure, each oxygen atom is bonded to sulfur by sigma and pi bonds. The sigma bonds between sulfur and oxygen are formed by sp2p overlapping. One of pi bonds arise from p-pi overlapping, while other from d-pi overlap. Both the sulfur oxygen bonds are identical with respect to the length. Preparation of sulfuric acid by contact process. It involves the following steps. The first step is the formation of sulfur dioxide. It can be done by burning sulfur or sulfur containing ores by roasting process. When sulfur is burnt, it forms sulfur dioxide as the product. Similarly, when ferrous sulfide is carried out roasting with oxygen or air, we get sulfur dioxide as the product along with ferric hydroxide. Step 2. In the second step, the sulfur dioxide thus formed is converted to sulfur trioxide in the presence of vanadium pentoxide as a catalyst at a temperature of 720 Kelvin and pressure of 2 bar. This reaction is exothermic in nature. In the third step, sulfur trioxide thus formed is dissolved in sulfuric acid to get oleum. Here addition takes place between sulfuric acid and sulfur trioxide to form oleum. In the fourth step, this oleum is diluted to get desired concentrated sulfuric acid as the product. Flowchart of preparation of sulfuric acid. So in this flow chart you can see that sulfur is taken in sulfur burner chamber and air is introduced here and high temperature is maintained of 720 Kelvin. So during this process sulfur burns to form sulfur dioxide and a small amount of oxygen remain unreacted. So the impure sulfur dioxide and oxygen, they come from outlet of sulfur burner and then they are introduced to dust precipitator where the dust is absorbed, and once the gas sulfur dioxide and oxygen they become free from dust, they are introduced into cooling tower where water is sprayed from the top. So remaining traces of impurity in that gaseous mixture is wet by the water and it is going to collected in the down part of this cooling tower as waste water. The gas which is free from impurity next introduced to drying tower where dehydrating agent like concentrated sulfuric acid is sprayed from the top. So once that mixture of sulfur dioxide and oxygen becomes free from water vapors, it is introduced to arsenic purifier. Arsenic purifier contains gelatinous hydrated ferric oxide. Students, even presence of a traces of arsenic will cause poisoning of the catalyst and thereby it stops the reaction. To prevent that, we have to remove that small traces of the arsenic. For that purpose we are going to use arsenic purifier to absorb that small traces of arsenic. Gelatinous hydrated ferric oxide is used, and once the gas mixture is free from arsenic, it is transferred to free heater where it is heated to raise the temperature up to 720 Kelvin. And after heating that one, both sulfur dioxide and oxygen, they are introduced to the catalytic converter where vanadium pentoxide is used as a catalyst. 720 Kelvin is maintained. So during this reaction between sulfur dioxide and oxygen takes place to form the sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide then formed is introduced into the another chamber where concentrated sulfuric acid is sprayed from the top. So this sulfur trioxide dissolves in concentrated sulfuric acid to form oleum, and once oleum is formed, it is diluted to get desired concentrated sulfuric acid as the product. Chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is used in the formation of more volatile acids like hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, nitric acid, etc. In this reaction, metal chloride or metal bromide or metal nitrate are treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. For example, here we have MX where X stands for fluorine, chlorine or nitrate. So when MX is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, we are going to get HX, that means hydrogen fluoride or hydrogen chloride or hydrogen nitrate along with metal sulfate as the product. Concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a strong dehydrating agent. It removes water from many organic compounds. For example, when sucrose C12H22O11 is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it undergoes charring to form carbon along with water as the product. Oxidizing property of sulfuric acid. Hot and concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a moderately strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes both metals and non-metals. When copper is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, it forms cupric sulfate along with the sulfur dioxide and water. When it reacts with non-metal like carbon, it is going to form carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and water as a product. When sulfur is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, we are going to get sulfur dioxide and water as the product. Oxoacids of sulfur. Sulfur forms many oxoacids with oxygen. The first one is sulfurous acid, that has a formula of H2SO3. So in this structure clearly you can see that central sulfur atom bonded with the two hydroxyl groups and one oxygen through double bond. Oxidation number of sulfur here is found to be +4. Thiosulfurous acid, that has a formula of H2S2O2. So here you can see that sulfur is bonded with the two hydroxyl groups and one more sulfur through the double bond, and oxidation number of this center sulfur is found to be +4, whereas oxidation number of this terminal sulfur is found to be -2. Third one, diethionous acid, that has a formula of H2S2O4. It is also called by the name hydrosulfurous acid. So in the structure of hydrosulfurous acid, there is a direct bonding between the two sulfur atoms, and each sulfur atom is bonded with one hydroxyl group and oxygen through the double bond. Oxidation number of sulfur here is found to be +3. The fourth one is pyrosulfurous acid, that has a formula of H2S2O5, and in this structure you can see there is a presence of bridging oxygen between two sulfur atoms. Here each sulfur is bonded with one hydroxyl group and one oxygen through the double bond. The next oxoacid of sulfur is sulfuric acid, that has a formula of H2SO4. It is also called as oil of vitriol. So in sulfuric acid, center sulfur is bonded with the two oxygen atoms through the double bond and two hydroxyl groups through the single bond. In this case, oxidation number of sulfur is found to be +6. The last one is thiosulfuric acid, that has a formula of H2S2O3. So in this molecule, sulfur is bonded with two hydroxyl groups, one sulfur and one oxygen through the double bonds. The oxidation number of central sulfur is found to be +6, whereas the oxidation number of terminal sulfur is found to be -2. The seventh oxoacid of sulfur is pyrosulfuric acid, that has a formula of H2S2O7. It is also called as disulfuric acid or oleum. And in this structure there is a bridging oxygen present between the two sulfur atoms, and each sulfur atom along with this bridging oxygen bonded with the two oxygen and one hydroxyl groups. The eighth one is pyroxymonosulfuric acid, or it is also called Carros acid. It has a formula of H2SO5. So here center sulfur atom is bonded with two oxygen atoms through the double bond and hydroxyl group and oxygen through the single bond. The ninth one is peroxydisulfuric acid, that has a formula of H2S2O8, that is also called Marshall's acid. So here you can see between two sulfur atoms there are two oxygen atoms, and each sulfur bonded with the two oxygen through the double bond and hydroxyl group through the single bond. Next one is dithionic acid, that has a formula of H2S2 O6. Here you can see there is a direct bond between two sulfur atoms, and each sulfur is bonded with two oxygen atoms through the double bond and one hydroxyl group through the single bond. The next oxide of sulfur is sulfoxylic acid, that has a formula of H2SO2, and here central sulfur is of +2 oxidation state and it is bonded with the two hydroxyl groups. Thank you, students.